Shalom, everyone. We're going to get
Hello.
into
Hello.
Haftarah ki Tisa in 1 Kings 18. If you want to, why isn't my, I know why. There we go. There we go. All right. If anyone wants to mark on the screen or raise a hand, here's how you do it. Who would like to read first? All right. I'll read first. Vayhi
Read.
yamim rabim
Oh, okay.
udvar Adonai haya el Eliyahu bashana hashlishit lemor. Lech hera'e el achav ve'etna matar al pnei ha'adama. All right. The context here is that it hasn't rained in, 3.5 months or something, or 6 months. And now Elijah is telling King Ahab that he's going to pray for rain. And all right, so what can we do with this text here? Vayhi yamim rabim udvar Adonai haya Eliyahu. What does Eliyahu's name mean?
Yeah, but my God is Hashem Adonai.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's the Tetragrammaton Yod Hey Vav Hey. We don't see the Hey right here because the Hey isn't invented until the time of King David. Or I say the Hey isn't invented. The Hey as a vowel letter, or the Vav or the Yod as a vowel letter, didn't exist before about the time of King David or Solomon. And so the earliest forms of the written Torah would not have included them. And so names you'll typically find will better preserve archaic, original, historical forms. Eliyahu means El is, or God is my, or God is, you could say my God. It could be my God, or it could just be God of, but my God is Yod He Vav He. Exactly. Bashana. What is Ba?
In.
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 Two
In
things.
the.
In the. Exactly. In the. If it were just B, that would be in, but it's Ba. Hashlishit, our adjective, needs to have the same definiteness as the noun that it's modifying. Lemor lech. What is the root of lech? Very common word.
Yalak.
Right.
Halach.
Halach,
Halach.
right? Halach. It behaves like a verb that has a yod or a vav at the beginning. Correct.
It's
You'll
imperative. Go.
correct. This
Imperative.
is the imperative. Let's see, imperative. I'll do that imperative, so it doesn't look like imperfect. And to whom are we speaking? What's the built-in subject?
Elijah.
Well, no, isn't Elijah the one who's saying? Or is it,
Elijah.
excuse me. So the Lord is saying to Elijah, Lech. Thank you for the
Oh.
clarification. What I was going to say is that halach, even though it starts with a hey, does behave like a lot of verbs that have a yod at the front, like yashav. What's the imperative form of yashav?
Shiv.
Same thing. Yeah. Shiv. Can you think of any other nouns that behave this way? I said nouns. Any other verbs that behave this way that maybe have a yod or a original vav at the front?
Yakum.
Yakum is kum.
Ba.
Ba doesn't have a yod at the front.
Oh, okay.
Yid Gadol, maybe. I don't
That's a yiktol yod from gadol in the hit pile.
know.
How about yada?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yasim.
which one?
Yasim.
Yasim?
Oh, yeah. Like sim.
That would be from sim. The yod
Okay,
is
so that's the
yiktol.
middle.
Yair. Yair.
Ya'er. No. Ya'er
Yeah.
also is a yiktol. Let me show you. Ya'er, like Ya'er Adonai Panav, comes
Yes.
from Ya'er. Ya'er. Oh, come on. Ya'er Adonai Panav. Ya'er. Oh, come on. Why am I having trouble with this? Ya'er should come from. Oh, it comes from or. Ya'er. There we go. I was trying to make it fit into the root ra'ah to see, but ya'er comes from or, light. So ya'er means to make light, to illuminate. So the yod again is a yiktol yod. Yada has a root letter yod, and it's in its imperative form. Not dea, but rather da.
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 Oh,
Da. Because of the ayin here, instead of it being dea, it's simply da. You'll see something similar with pay noon verbs like naga. What's the imperative form of naga? To touch or strike?
oh.
Ga. If any of you have kids, you might have heard of something called gaga ball.
Yeah.
It's Israeli, and it comes from ga, to strike the balls, to strike. So anyway, when you have a yod at the front, or sometimes even a noon, then the imperative will only have two root letters visible. Halach, even though it has a hey at the front, behaves like one of those so-called pay yod or first root letter yod or vav verbs. Hey ra'eh is from what root? Hey ra'eh.
Ra'ah.
Right. Ra'ah, resh, aleph, missing
Yod.
yod. So what's the hey what's that telling us about the verb?
Is that a he feel?
Yes, it's he feel. In what form?
It's hera. It's an imperative.
Good. So we should expect here in the imperative. He ah. Resh says no, thank you. So it lengthens the preceding vowel. This is an imperative also, and 2MP is the built-in subject.
So it's a he feel.
2M,
Could you ever
2MS.
confuse it with a nifal?
No, excuse me. Did I say he feel? My mind must be somewhere
I said
else.
he feel, but it looks like a
No, it's a
nifal.
nifal. It's a nifal.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
And I confused
I
it.
thought you said nifal.
Did I ever? Yes, I just did.
There's a hirik there and a
I was
dagesh there is what
confused
we
by
expect.
that too. But
I'm sorry. It is a nifal. The reason you won't get a
hirik.
I guess the reason you won't confuse a he feel with a nifal imperative is largely because you expect the dagesh in the second root letter, and if not, then the vowel is lengthened. And if it's lengthened, then the next letter should have some sort of a yod in it, right? So like you could have like he shiv.
And that's
This is he feel, but it is not an imperative.
Right.
This is just 3ms katal.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make it an imperative, then it would jump to a kamatz hashiv. So it's pretty easy to separate the two because of the vowel pointings.
Why kamat's not a patah?
Because there's nothing to close the syllable, and you expect a long vowel in an open syllable. The sheen is what used to close the syllable in the word hashiv. So historically, it should have looked something like hash, and then your vav is the weak letter that went missing. Something like this should have been the original form, hashweev, but that consonant cluster, vowel cluster, I guess that would be a diphthong, is simplified down. So now it's just hashiv. And as soon as we lose this, now the sheen has to take over, and we get hashiv. There are a lot of consonant clusters that did it again. Complex vowels like diphthongs, triphthongs that simplify down into what are called monophthongs, single syllable vowels. And El Achav. What's the meaning of Achav's name?
My brother is my father.
Possibly the brother of my father.
Father.
I don't know.
Uncle then.
I,
I believe, yeah.
I want to make a joke about someone who has the same father is also a brother, but I'm my own grandpa, sort of a thing.
All right.
The etna, audible or silent schwa?
It's actually there's a dagesh there, so it has to be audible.
Mm-hmm. Has to be audible. And why is there a dagesh there?
Etena. Because there's a missing noon.
Yes. The root is natan, to give. And etna, I guess that would be something like I want to give or I want to send, because this is a cohortative verb showing volition.
The hay, yeah.
Not just I will send, but like I want to send matar, rain, al pnei ha'adama, on the face of the ground. I'm good with that. Who wants to read next?
I
Unless there are any
do.
questions. All right, go ahead, Voldane. The next slide is here.
Vayelach Alam Yahu Lehe Rawot Al Ak Av Yehal Ra'av Kazak Be Besh Sham Ron.
Right. Bishomeron. Bishomeron. Long vowel, so I would split it right there, make that a vocal schwa. Bishomeron. Very good. Vayelech. This isn't the normal stress for a yiktol verb, is it? If it were a yiktol verb, it would be we saw lech, while the yiktol would be yelech right here. On this verb, the stress is over here. It shifted from there to there. Why?
Padma or those Pashta accent. Tiamim, no?
Well, okay. Well, the te'amim tell you where to put the stress. It doesn't tell you why the stress is there.
Oh, why?
Why did the stress move from the lamed to the yod? It's a vayiktol. The vayiktol prefers the shortened form of a word. And what that means is that there was originally no vowel here, and it was simply vayelch, the shortened form of the verb, vayelch. Of course, Hebrew sticks in the artificial segol to break up the consonant cluster, and that's what we call an apocopated form. Apocopated, I think, properly means that one of the syllables is missing. And the irony here is that the syllable went missing and then it was kind of restored with that artificial segol, but we still were left with a stress shift. And so apocompation, if it has its effect on a word, it means that if there's any vowel letters, mater letters, they'll go missing. If it can, it will move the stress forward to the penultima. Penultimate syllable. I feel like there's one more thing I'm missing, but that'll just have to suffice. So it's apocopated because it's a vayiktol. What other kind of verb apocopates? Goes short or prefers the shortened form?
Hifu.
Like maybe like in an infinitive absolute, we'll see a missing yod there. Sure, like
Imperatives.
yeah.
Some
The jussives.
justice.
The jussives. So on the he feel, let's take hishkim. This is the 3ms he feel katal, hishkim. He woke up early. If we put it into the infinitive, well, I guess you could see it a little bit in the construct, but mostly in the absolute. it becomes
Okay.
hishkem. Or, of course, that would change to a patach. Hashkem, hashkem. Where did the yod go? It apocryphated. And then, so that's the he feel infinitive absolute. And then the other answer was the jussive. What does jussive mean?
Let
Third
me
relative.
Go or
Relative.
It's volative, but it's third person
It's
volative.
third, yeah.
Let him do something, right? Let the king write an edict. So if at all possible, that verb will apocryphate, meaning it'll lose a mater letter or shift its stress. So definitely in Vayiktol, right, there we go. Put a V there, a V right there, Vayiktol and Jussives. Okay, good. Vayelech Eliyahu, and Elijah went leheraot. Because of this tav and because of this lamed, we can be assured that we're looking at an infinitive construct.
Construct.
Of which flavor? What binyan?
Nifa.
Yeah, the nifal that we just saw in the imperative. It's essentially, well, I mean, it's similar in the fact that it has hera instead of hira. But yeah, that ot on the end tells us that we're looking at an infinitive construct and the preposition on the front. El achav v'hara'av hazak. What's a ra'av?
Right there, famine.
famine.
You're right. So ra'ev, to be hungry, ra'av, a famine. Chazak was strong, Bishomeron, in Samaria. All right. Let's see, go here. There we go. Eileen, you have your hand up. You want to read? All right, microphone. There you go.
Vayikra et Achav el Obadeihu asher al habait be'obadeihu haya rea et Adonai meod.
Thank you. Very good. Vayikra Achav el Ovadyahu. What's the meaning of Ovadyahu?
Some stand, my God.
Of God, I
Oh,
guess.
God.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something like servant of Yod He
Yeah.
Vav He, right? Exactly.
He is God's servant.
Notice how the Hebrew gives us Ovadyahu, and what we get in English from the Greek is Ovadia. Why is there no who here? It's essentially the beginning of the story of prohibiting lay people from pronouncing God's name. The scribes, instead of writing an extra vav there, simply wrote Ovadia so that no one would accidentally pronounce God's name. So by the time of the Septuagint, we already see that prohibition starting to form. And then by the time of the Second Temple period, it was common praxis. And then by the time of the Mishnah in about 200 AD, there's a rabbinic forbiddance, in fact, a rabbinic curse on anyone who would dare use God's name. And the original intent behind the prohibition was to keep wicked men from using God's holy name. El Ovadiahu, so Achav is talking to Ovadiahu. Is this the Obadiah that we read about in the Minor Prophets? Probably.
Possibly.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Asher al habayit. Okay, so this is the Ovadyahu that is over the house. Why is he hanging out over the house? Who put him up there? Someone get him down. Why is he suspended on a rope over top the house? What house?
Ahab's house. It's authority.
Ahab.
He's over the house in authority.
You know, I hadn't considered that. I assumed that it was the temple,
Hmm.
the one who was in charge of the house. We see similar verbiage in Isaiah when was it Sennacherib's men come to Jerusalem and try to convince them to surrender. And it talks about somebody who was al habayit, and that's probably referring to the one in charge of the temple. So I hadn't thought of that.
Well, he was a servant. He was under Ahab, so that's what made me think that like he was responsible for his house. Like, would they have a temple in Samaria? Or would they have like Baal was the guy, right, that they worshipped?
Right. Well, there were two places that the northern tribes were asked to bring their sacrifices so they didn't have to travel down to the southern kingdom. One was in Dan, but I don't remember exact. Was it Samaria? Where's the other one? The second one. There were two places. Anyway, yeah, I hadn't considered that. Ovadyahu haya yare. Is that a yiktol yod?
This is a participle.
A participle. So it's a root letter.
Yeah.
Yara, to fear. And why is it A instead of OA?
Because it's
Usually,
that's at Nifal.
oh, a nifal participle has a nun at the front, like
Yeah,
nishmal.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
This is
so a usual.
maybe.
That's right. That's right. Very good. The usual participle has an OA, OA pattern like this, shomer. But this one up here is a stative verb. It has the AE. AE. Because fearing or revering isn't necessarily something you do. It's something that you're in the state of. I fear the king, and that's what leads me to do what I do. Yare et Adonai me'od. Exceedingly. Question.
Haya. It's got feared under there. I thought it meant it happened.
This is not correct. Haya means to be. He was. You're absolutely right. This translation is incorrect. He was fearing. Remember, participles are technically adjectives, so fearing would be a better or a more grammatically accurate translation. He was fearing, or he was in the habit of fearing the Lord greatly. So he was a fearer of the Lord. He served the Lord. Very good. Yeah. All right. Who would like to read next? Anatoly?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes, lower my hand. Okay. Behi Beharit is well at Nevi A Adonai Baikach Obad Yahu Mia Nivim Niviim Bayach BM Hamishim Ish Bam Mara Behil Ke Lam Lechem Bamayim.
Vamayim. Very good. Vayhi behachrit Izevel et nevi'ei Adonai. Wait a second. Hachrit. What is kaf resh tav?
Karat. Yeah.
Cut. Usually cutting a covenant. So here it's in the he feel, causing to be cut. I guess she sent some thugs to go take care of all the prophets. So she caused those servants of hers to go and cut down the prophets, I guess. Nevi'e Adonai, Vayikach Ovadyahu, and Obadiah. What is the root here? Vayikach.
Yeah,
Lakach, missing lamed in the kuf. Me'ah Nevi'im. 100 Nevi'im. Very good. Why didn't this go to a construct form?
It's 100 Mia.
Numbers are special like that, apparently. They're somewhere between a noun and an adjective. And unlike adjectives, they don't go after the noun. And unlike nouns, they don't construct. I mean, sometimes they do. Shiv'at habanim, the 7 of the sons, or something like that. That would be in construct, but doesn't have to. And,
it would be a tav if it was, right?
Well, let's see. Nevi'im is... right. I guess there's a difference because me'ah is always, 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 always feminine, whereas sheva or shesh or chamesh can be either gender, depending on what follows. So maybe that's the difference. And if it were in construct, then yes, it would be. I guess it would have to drop to a shva here, wouldn't it? Ma'at. I don't know.
Ma'at.
Which sounds an awful lot like what is it? Ma'at. Just a little. Like a little or a few.
I get confused. Me'at hanavi'im means something different if they put that, right?
The 100 of the prophets, or 100 of the prophets. So maybe it's something like 100 and not all of them, right? Only 100 of the prophets. Maybe that would be Me'at hanavi'im. I guess that would be that feels more modern Hebrew.
Yeah.
Maybe the rules were a little bit more flexible in biblical times. Vayach bi'em. All right. What's at the front here?
And
What's
the yod?
Him.
This is your yiktol prefix letter, him, 3ms. What's the m?
Them.
3 masculine,
the
plural.
Yeah.
What's the patach and the chirik yod for? He feel. Good. He feel. And then our root letters, chet, bet, aleph.
To hide.
Conceal, to hide, yeah. So cause them to be concealed. Cause whom? Chamishim ish. How many is chamishim? 50, right? 50 men ba'm'ara, in a cave. Why is there a dagesh in the word chamishim?
Hamishi.
Is it interrogative or no?
There's a chet at the front, not an interrogative hey.
Okay.
So that's actually a root letter.
Looks like historical something.
That's a good guess. I like it. So we have all 3 root letters. We don't expect anything to be missing. It is possible for a word to have a dagesh as part of its structure. For example, in the word ktanim, a dagesh goes right there. Sorry, ktanim, there we go. And it's possible that this is a dagesh representing part of the structure of the word from long ago. So it's possible that it could be structural, but I asked what is it? The Institute of Hebrew Language, what is it called? I asked them about this question. They said that they think that most likely it was probably just an in analogy to the number shishim?
Jedge.
Right, exactly. So the number shishim only has 2 root letters visible. What was the second root letter? It was a dalet. Shedge, shedge. Like this. And because dalet and shin are pronounced in the same place, it naturally assimilated into the following letter, leaving a dagesh. So their best guess was it's probably, sorry, this one. It's probably because, or in analogy to shishim. Chamishim ish, if the number is over 10, we can use the singular. Ba'ma'ara, in
The cave.
a cave. Why is this dagesh in the bet?
It's Beget. Beget Kefet.
Beged kefet. That's it. Beged kefet, begad kefat. And why is there a dagesh in the mem?
Different. Yes.
Definite. Definite article. Very good. Vechil kalam.
Just a second, Jared. In the translation, it's not correct. In the cave, not in a cave, right?
Right. Very good.
In
Don't
the
trust.
cave.
Don't see. Maybe you know. Maybe I did this on purpose. I'm trying to get you to trust the translation less and less, and trust more on your education. No, I'm kidding. I didn't put the translation in this one. But yes, you're right. Because of that definite article, it should be in the cave. The only problem is they haven't introduced a cave yet. And in Hebrew, in English, you can't say the cave until you've introduced it first as an antecedent, and then you could say the cave afterward. So it's probably stylistic.
It's a little confusing because there were 100 of them, and then it says the cave. So 50 in the cave. But I think the way the English handled it in some of the translations I have is it was like 2 caves, that like each in a cave, in a separate cave. I don't know.
Is it a different passage that talks about how they were in 2 different caves?
No, well, no, this is the one, but
okay.
I guess just to make it make sense. And well, as I was reading it in English, I thought, oh, well, maybe they were in the same cave, in 2 different parts of the same cave.
Yeah,
Branching
maybe.
off. I don't know. It's a little confusing.
Why are you bringing up the number 2 though? Why can't they all fit in one cave?
Because there were 100 and he's putting 50 in the cave. He said, he said 100
Chamishim
puppet.
ish b'ma'ara. That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, 100 people, 50 in a cave means 2 caves. Got it. I was a little slow on that one, wasn't I? V'chil kalam. What's the at the end?
Them.
3MP, them. Vav on the front. Does it mean anything special?
And
Just conjunction, right?
Conjunction.
So we're not looking at a vekatal future, incompleted tense. And then chil kel. This would have been a tsere. Chil kel or kil kel. What binyan are we looking at?
Yeah.
PL? It's looking a little different
Oh,
just because okay, all right, fair. I appreciate that answer. The answer that you gave is pil pel, which is a special case of PL, in which there are 4 root letters and there is a reduplication of the letters. When Hebrew runs into a root that, especially when it has a weak letter, it drops the weak letter and then doubles those 2 remaining letters in order to create a new verb. And they put it into pilpel like this, where you take the first and last, or maybe first and second. Here, is it the first and last or first and second? What root is kilkel coming from?
To nourish. Okay.
What is it?
Halach, no?
Not halach.
Hale.
All right, so what are our options? Our options are these.
Halal?
Here are our options. Either the 3 options are kalal,
Okay.
kala, with a yod at the end, or kul.
Cool.
Essentially, these are the options. All right. What does kalal mean?
To nourish.
Does it?
Well, that's what that's intention is.
I know, but there's a
Kalal,
secondary, the pilpel is a secondary meaning deriving
kalal.
from a primary root. So what is kalal?
I only know it in modern, like generalize.
Oh, klal.
Kalal.
Klal. Very good. General or all encompassing. So this is the same root as kol. Why? Because it's a geminate and it gets an O vowel right there, as in kolel. Kolel. Kol is I guess it would technically be a seglet, an U vowel seglet that turned into an O. And that's the word that we use for all, any, everything. Or with the kamatz katan, kol. Okay, what's the next one? Kala. Usually there's a hey instead of a yod at the end. Kala. Huh?
Vessels?
Oh, right. Kli is a vessel. I was also thinking of kala, like a bride. But the verb kala can also mean to finish something. So I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure how those three are related. Bride, vessel, and finishing something. Whatever. What I'm going to do here is just include finish, because that's the kala verb. And then the last one is probably the hardest. Kul. Anybody know this one? Andrew, what was that? Oh, okay. I thought you said something. And it's probably something related to grain.
Mm.
Providing food or bundling grain or something like that. It shows up in the Gezer tablet, the ancient inscription that like predates tons of books of the Bible during the times of the kings. It's an ancient. It's written on a potsherd, and it talks about what agriculturally is done month by month throughout the year, and it includes the verb kaf lamed, and from the context, it seems to be like not just finishing up for the year, but binding and like packaging, as it were, binding up all the sheaves for storage. So it has something to do with grain and food. So the question becomes, which of these seems like the best candidate for kilkel? Well, kalal feels good because it talks about all, like taking care of all your needs. Kala feels nice because we're finishing all of your needs. That one's kind of a stretch. But kul is probably a slam dunk since it's already talking about food.
Mm-hmm.
In modern times, kilkel would be like making a living, earning a living. Lehit kalkel.
Kalkala is
Yeah,
nourishment.
right. Kalkala is the adjective, the noun of the verb of taking care of yourself and making ends meet. So we can be sure that it's talking about feeding them because the next word is lechem, not umayim, but rather vamayim. Why didn't it go to umayim? I thought before a mem, you're supposed to put an u. Don't stress out about it.
Mayim means water, so
Mayim is water, good. But the question is, when a conjunction vav shows up in front of a mem, we're told it turns into u because both vav and mem were bilabials, and so we get things like umlachim, right, and kings. It's
Is
not
it
the. So why did this?
harmonization?
Say again?
Is it harmonizing it?
No,
For
here's the
some
answer right there. The stress is right
Symmetric?
next door, so
Uh,
this vowel does not have to reduce. You'll get
oh,
the long vowels will reduce the farther away they are from the stress, There is an exception when it comes to certain verbs, but let's not get into that unless we have to. In general, long vowel next to the stress doesn't need to reduce.
I didn't know that.
It's also the same reason why you often get va'aretz. That shows up a lot more often. Instead of it being va'aretz, it's va'aretz because the stress is right next door. You'll especially see it more often in pausal forms, I guess, because if I say ve'eretz v'shamayim, then the stress seems to be all the way on shamayim and treat the whole phrase as a single phrase. And so, yeah, you will see the mayim sometimes, but it's usually because it has a cantillation mark that connects it to the following word. So now it's like the main stress isn't here, but rather the main stress is on that next word over there. And so this can and does drop to a shva. But here at the end of a verse, it'll stay va mayim. The va mayim is the va is probably closer to the original. Let me put it this way. The original appears to have been va. That's either going to drop to a shva if it's too far away from the stress, or if it's in if it's in a open syllable, it will lengthen to kamatz. The only time it stays patach is if the next vowel is like a reduced patach, maybe, and then you'll get vowel harmonizing.
I have a little question.
Yeah.
That's pausal, so at the end of the phrase, the sentence. Is the accent always penultimate?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as soon as I say yes, I can think of an exception, but
Always
I'm
an
still gonna
exception.
I'm still gonna say yes because I know of no example where the stress goes here. What I have in mind is, well, first off, let me just cover the fact that you said it's pausal. That's the reason we get a kamatz. If it were not pausal, then the word would be with a patach, mayim. What if it's in construct?
May.
Good. There are two answers. May is the more common one, and it's a faux pas. This should not have been the construct form
because it's not actually
because originally it wasn't actually a plural. The root letters are mem yod mem, and because it looks like ayim, it was confused for a plural, and it's been a plural ever since. But there are precious few places in the Bible where the construct is either mem, and in fact, that's where the word mem, like the letter mem, gets its name from mem. Like, you know what I'm talking, like the actual name of the letter mem comes from mayim in the construct form. Mem is the construct form, just like bayit. What's the construct form of bayit?
Beit.
Beit. And in fact, it should usually have a yod there, but if it didn't, it would look something like this, and that would be an exact analogy to mem. And what you'll find more often in the Bible, just a little bit more often in the Bible, is meme. So this is a hybrid where we get mem that's also plural. So this is combining two truths into one goofy form, meme. But the vast majority of the time, the construct form is may because of the misunderstanding. Yeah. But it's a segelit, just like bayit is. Those two have the same form. All right, I think I covered all the questions. Let's see, Gabriel, do you want to read next?
Yes.
All right, there it is. Go ahead.
Vayomer Achav El Abod Obadyahu Lech Baaretz El Kol מעייני המים ואל כל הנחלים אולי נמה הציר ונחיי סוס ופרד ולא נרית מי בחמה.
That's it. That's it. Very good. Vayomer Achav, Ahab said, El Ovadiahu, pause, Lech ba'aretz, El kol ma'yene hamayim. You can see that the root here is ayin. Both the word for your eye and the word for springs in the ground are the same word. Originally, sight was understood as something that took place because your eyes were gushing out some kind of particle, not light coming into the eyes as we scientifically enlightened folk understand it. They thought that something was coming out of the eyes in order for sight to work. So therefore, the two are the same in the sense that both of them have something gushing outward. Also, when you read about like having a dark eye or a stingy eye in the New Testament, it's also referring to that concept of sight being something caused by something gushing out of the eye.
Yeah, there's one layer of in the retina, in 9 layers. It's called tapetum lucidum, especially shown like in spiders and even lobsters. They have ability to reflect light, and this one of the layer of the retina that reflects. That's what they researchers took, wrote like signs with the reflection. They've got idea from this tapetum lucidum.
Thank you for saying that. I hadn't even thought of that, but that would be a great I don't know, explanation to I don't know, from somebody from thousands of years ago. It's like, well, at night I can see their eyes reflecting, so something's coming out of their eyes.
Cats, spiders, and lobsters. They have particular in humans. There's
we got tons of spiders in the woods behind us, and every time you go in the woods when it's dark outside with a flashlight, you always see them. It's like a little gem in the in the bushes or something. Thank you for saying that. That was very interesting. Let's see. So all the springs of water, ve'el kol hanchalim, and to all of the brooks. And there's the etnach. Ulai nimtza, perhaps we will find chatzir, some sort of vegetation grass. Unichaye. Okay, why did this turn to u?
Because shva cannot take
because of the shva here. We can't put two audible shvas at the beginning of a word. So it changes the first one to a full vowel. Unchaye. What binyan is this?
Nifal, no?
Nifal?
Oh, thank you.
Pay attention. Shva, patach, dagesh.
Pro.
Annie, what did you say?
PL?
PL. Yeah. Shva, patach, dagesh is PL. Yes. And what's the root? Chet yod, missing yod. Right. Chet yod, missing yod. It's possible that the root was originally chet vav, missing yod, but that's neither here nor there. The reason I would suggest that maybe the root was chet vav yod is because of Adam's wife's name. It wasn't Chaya, it was Chava.
Yeah.
Where'd she get the vav from? It's original. It's original. And then the vav turns into a yod. The same thing happened with the verb haya. It was originally hey vav yod. How do you know that, Mr. Smarty Pants? Well, because of God's name. Yod, hey, vav, hey. That preserves a much older tradition before the vav turned into a yod. Besides that, though, Aramaic still has the vav. So, I mean, it's prima facie evidence that it was I don't want to say prima facie. Maybe it's very strong evidence that the vav was original. Anyway, nichaye being in a PL, man, how do we translate a PL of a root that means to be alive? Is chaya a state of being verb? A stative verb?
It should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So then what if we put a state of being verb into a PL? What does it turn the verb into?
Causative.
So close. Yeah, exactly. It's factative. It's a word
It has to
nobody
have a
knows.
direct object.
Right. It turns a verb that has no direct object into a verb that does have a direct object. So if I sit on a seat, that's not transitive. I can't take a direct object. I can't sit somebody, right? But the I'm misspelling it. Factative. There we go. But if I want to seat somebody, I change the verb a little bit, but now it's transitive. I can seat the guests at the table. Not sit, but seat, right? It changes a little bit. But there are some. Oh, what about the word walk? Walk is both intransitive, I went for a walk, and transitive. I walked the dog. So Hebrew's a little easier because it differentiates those two types of verbs, whereas English just squashes them together into one. And so here it's a PL. It makes it factative. It makes somebody. It causes. It's pretty much causative, like Cheryl said. You're making something stay alive. Nichaye, we will keep to live. Sus va fered. And here you see another example of va because of the stress. Velo nachrit, and we will not cut or cut off meha behema, from the livestock. Questions, comments, answers? Okay. Anatoly, do you want to read?
Yeah, I'd love to read. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Vayichalhu lachem et haaretz la'avar ba achav halach bederech had levado beo bad yahu halach bederech echad levado.
Very good. What's this up here?
Just where? Oh, it's
Right.
le'avar.
La'avor. The stress is over
Closer.
here. Closed, unstressed syllable. It's a kamatz katan. La'avor. That's your infinitive construct, which should have an O vowel right there, but it dropped down because it's unstressed. Vaychaleku. That's also PL. Notice those three. So they made, divided, lahem.
Like.
To them. They divided to them et haaretz. They divided the land. La'avor bah, to pass through her, the land. Achav halach b'derech echad levado. Ahab walked through one way. Levado. What is the root of levado?
Badad.
Badad. How do you know?
I don't know. I learned that once and it just stuck in my head, I guess.
Okay. All right. Right. So boded is
There is a dagesh in the dalet.
That's what I was getting
because
at.
it's in construct, you can keep it there.
That's
Because if it
exactly
was
what
the
I was getting
last
at.
letter, you wouldn't see it.
You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't
Yeah.
see it. Levad, you wouldn't see the dagesh, but now that there's a suffix, you do see it. And so just as doesn't have a dagesh, but ammo does, so also bad and bado and livado, it's the same thing. The root is ein mem mem. Livado, the root is bet dalet dalet. To be alone. So by himself. Ve'ovadyahu, and Obadiah halach b'derech echad. He went one way. Livado, by himself. All right. Let's see. Hannah, do you want to read?
Yes.
All right. This one's yours. Go ahead.
ויהי עובדיהו בדרך, והנה אליהו לקראתו, ויכרהו, ויפול על פניו, ויאמר האתה זה אדוני אליהו?
How did you know that this was a question? I heard you inflect your voice.
Maybe ha?
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. That right there is the interrogative particle. So you know it's a question before you get into it. Excellent. Only this right here, I think, I wonder if you pronounce it as an A instead of A. Vayakirehu, right? Vayakirehu.
Okay.
What is yakir? To recognize. To recognize, to know. Vayhi Ovadyahu baderech, Obadiah was on the way. Vehine Eliyahu likrato, and Elijah was likrato. What kind of a word is this? Likrato. What form is it?
Infinitive construct.
Infinitive construct. All right. Now for the harder question. What's the root?
Ka'a.
It's kufresh aleph, no?
To call out?
You
didn't call out to him.
No.
No.
Me.
What else could it be if not an aleph?
Yod.
Yod. So what is the verb kara with a, well, you can call it with a hey, but what's the difference between kara and kara? Or we could say kara. Or we could say kara. All right. What is the meaning of each of these?
Yeah, one of them is to happen. Like kara zekara. I think
zekara, to happen. Okay, and then? This one's the easy one.
Cry out.
To call, to cry out, to read, right?
To read.
Yeah, to read or call out.
Right.
All right. Kara means to kneel. And then kara means to rend or tear. Tear your garment, kara. But in the 3MS, they all sound about the same, don't they? Vayakirehu. What is ehu?
Him.
That's more of the original 3MS suffix. So vayakir, that's got a vayiktol with a yod at the front, which is, yiktol prefix 3MS. So we've got a kaf and a resh. What's the root? Oh, I know there's a kaf. I know there's a resh.
Resh.
There's a
Is
dagesh,
it
though, in the kaf.
Yo.
Nakar. Yep.
The
Yeah.
it's
With the dagesh right there, it tells you something's missing. Always suspect nun.
Yeah.
Nun kaf resh. Vayakirehu, and he recognized him. Vayipol. Here's another example of a missing nun.
Nafal.
Nafal, and he fell al panav, on his face. Vayomer, and he said, oh, by the way, notice how this stress moved back. It's not vayomar, it's vayomer. That's because it's a vayiktol. That's because it's apocopated. It's another example of an apocopated. That looks like something else. Never mind. Apocopated. And then because of the zakef gadol, we pause, telling us that we're probably looking at direct speech. Hataze Adoni Eliyahu? Interrogative. You are this? Basically, is that you? Exactly. If you go, if you say it this way, someone will be like, "Are you ill? Is that you, Adoni Eliyahu, my lowercase L Lord Elijah?" All right, who's up next? Annie, do you want to read? Oh, what a cute little verse. Annie, I don't want to give you something so small as that. Let me give you the next one. Is that okay?
Can I read this one?
Yeah, okay. Eileen, you take this one, that's fine. And then Annie, and then Voldane.
Okay. Vayomer lo ani lach amer o omer la adonecha hine Eliyahu.
I want you guys to understand the gravity of what he just said here. Vayomer lo, that is, Elijah said to Obadiah. Vayomer lo ani. This is a pausal form. So instead of ani, it's ani. Here's what he's supposed to say. Lech emor ladonecha. Go and imperative say to your masters. Hine Eliyahu. Behold, Elijah. Elijah's a wanted man.
Yep.
He's an outlaw. He was
ruffling
some feathers. He was rocking the boat, whatever you want to call it. And so now he's telling Obadiah, go let them know I'm here. Obadiah's going to be like, excuse me, you know what you're asking, right? Vayomer lo ani lech emor. Okay, very good. Annie, next one. Oh, why is it plural? Nobody knows. That's just the way the Bible and by extension modern Hebrew does it. If you're asking, hey, whose dog is this? Who's the owner? It's in the plural. Mehaba'alim, who are the owners, even if there's only one. So
it seems to me,
I'm
sorry to interrupt. It seems to me that when I read it, maybe it was in a different place that it said Adoneka. I don't know.
I can't think of a good reason why it would be Adoneka.
Yeah, well, when do you see Adoneka? What do you first of
see,
all, shouldn't that be a tsere if it were plural? Shouldn't it be a tsere?
No.
No?
I mean, like for example, when we saw Ehu, that was a tsere. But when you see a plural yod like this, okay, so you see tsere yod in the construct form of a plural noun. But when there's a suffix on the end, I think the majority of the time it turns into a segul yod.
Oh, okay.
Probably because this yod was originally consonantal, creating a closed syllable. Therefore, you get a short vowel. But there are plenty of people that would disagree with me and say, no, it's a segol yod, it's a long vowel. I'm like, okay, let's call it a lengthened vowel. It was originally a short vowel. But you know, here or there, I don't think it makes much difference. The sere does show up on the plural construct and on certain pronominal suffixes like ehu. Enu, right? Enu, something belongs to us. That's a tsere. Even echa, if it's in the singular or if it's a verbal suffix. Okay, so there are plenty of places where the tsere shows up.
But we do
I'm
say
not sure
like
why it's
Bihuneka.
Well, okay, so that's a different question. There's a question about why this is a segol, and then I think there was a question about whether this could ever have a dagesh in it. Was that correct, Cheryl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When
When
you do
there's a
that.
dagesh inside of a kaf, a pronominal suffix kaf like that, it's because there is a either paragogic, oh, no, excuse me, energic nun on a verb, a yictol verb, before the pronominal suffix. And that nun, which is eventually assimilated, so you don't even get to see it, apparently gave a certain amount of energy to the verb of certainty. Certainly this person did whatever to whomever, but eventually that nuance was lost. Arabic, I believe, still has the ability to add nuns to add nuances to the meaning of a verb. All right, let's see. Annie's turn to read. Go ahead.
ויאמר מה חטאתי כי אתה נותן את עבדך ביד אחאב לחמיתני.
Mm-hmm. So that Aini, there's another tsere. Now I'm looking for all the tseres. And Vayomer mechatati. Two questions. Why is it me instead of ma?
Probably it has to do with monarch, no? No.
In the word be'arim, or even heharim, right? Why do these have a segol instead of, I don't know, patach or kamatz? Well, the exact reason maybe nobody can pin down, but the reason given in most textbooks is you get a guttural here that's either hey, chet, or ein with an unstressed kamatz. When all those three converge, it becomes he instead of ha. So both of those are happening in these two words, but that's the definite article. It's because there was supposed to be a dagesh in the next letter, and the guttural said, no, thank you. Why is it showing up over here? That's not a definite article.
The chet in the next word.
Well, yeah, but why is the definite article has a dagesh that requires going into the next letter? Does ma have a dagesh going into the next letter that it turns it to meh?
Well, it has a hey. I don't know if that counts for anything.
All right. What's bread from heaven?
Lechem.
No, that's bread. What's bread from heaven?
Oh, manna.
Manna.
Man.
Oh,
Man. Man.
Word that.
Man. And why was it called man? Because everybody said
Manna.
they said
What, please?
man ze. What is this? I don't know if the word was ze. I'm just using it. Manze is going to get a strong dagesh because of the noon that was in the word ma. Ma wasn't always ma. It was man. So that's why when you find a word like when you have ma in front of basically anything that's not a guttural, like ma melech amar. Okay. like this. This will have a patach, a vowel hey, and a strong dagesh in the next letter because of the missing nun. So the same thing that causes the definite article to take a segol all of a sudden becomes the same reason that ma becomes meh, because it too wants to send a strong dagesh here for that nun. It rejects it, and now we have to do virtual doubling. Same thing that happened here. The hey is virtually doubled. Heh, ha, rim. And this one would be be, a, rim, as though there were two of them, but we're just not going to pronounce it. Same here. Man chatati becomes mach chatati. Oh, sorry, I put that in the wrong place. Let's put it after the quiesced aleph. Yes, there is supposed to be a strong dagesh after ma because of a missing nun. Same principle. So Obadiah is kind of confused. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Elijah, what have I done? What evil thing what sin have I committed? Ki ata noten et avdecha, that you give your servant biyad achav lahamiteni. Whoa, that got deep fast. Elijah was, or Elisha, excuse me, right? Elisha. No, Elijah.
Elijah.
Elijah, Eliyahu, right. He just says, go let your boss know that I'm here. And Obadiah is like, what? You want to kill me? What's the disconnect here? What is Obadiah thinking that he hasn't? What's the quiet part that he didn't say out loud? Why would Obadiah be put to death?
Keep reading.
Oh. Well, spoiler alert. If Obadiah says that Elijah exists but doesn't come back with his head, then the king's going to be really upset and maybe take his life. All right. Next one. Let's see. I guess Anatoly, have you read already?
I read, but if
You read?
anybody
Okay, well then let me select. I'm going to choose Voldane, and then you get the next verse. I think she's been waiting a while. Voldane?
Okay. Ha, ha.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Okay. Ye va Elohim ka Eloheka in yesh go ma mel la ta asher lo shalach adoni sham leva va ve leva te shaka.
Because of the segol here, I would probably divide the syllable like that. Levakeshcha. Levakeshcha. Not saying it's easy to pronounce, but that's what I would do.
Leva cash. How you say that again?
Levakeshcha. Levakeshcha.
Leva cash ka. They ru ayin. They ish be sa at hama melaka ye et hagu gun.
Hang on. This is the second occurrence of this word. It has a yod at the end, so add that to it. Hagoi.
Agoi.
Right.
Kilo yin sa a ka.
There's the ka that Cheryl was
That's where I
talking
read
about.
it. Yeah.
There it is. Okay, you
That's
found we found it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Chai Adonai Elohecha This is probably an adjective. The Lord is living. But the idea is, this is a oath, sort of an oath formula or a swearing formula. Just as the Lord lives, Elohecha, your God, im yesh goy. Now, this does not mean not. What does it mean? Im.
If.
Yeah, either if or whether. So he doesn't. This is essentially the same formula that Elijah uses when telling Ahab that there wasn't going to be rain. As the Lord lives, whether there will be any rain for the next 6 months. He doesn't say there won't be, but that was the implication. And so we get the same thing here. As the Lord lives, the Lord our God, your God, whether there is a nation, umamlecha, or a kingdom, asher lo shalach Adoni, that my Lord technically did not send Sham there, livakeshcha, in order to look. He sent every nation and kingdom that he could looking for you. You're a wanted man. Ve'amru ayin, and all of them said non-existent or non-existence. This technically is a noun, just like we saw earlier with, right, ma'yim had the same pattern. Kamat's in the pausal form, yod, same as bayit in the pausal form. But in the same way, ayin, we know this word better as en. What is en?
No.
It means that something, it says something doesn't exist. It's the particle of non-existence, right? Okay, just think about it a little bit differently. This is actually a noun in construct form. So if you say en ish, you could translate that just fine as there is no man, but it's literally non-existence of a man. This is a noun, has a noun pattern.
Yeah.
And then Hebrew borrows it or gives it double duty and turns it into an adverb, essentially. An adverb tells you how, when, where, why, to what extent some action was done. So ein means that it was done to the extent of not being done. It's an adverb. V'hishbia, and he caused an oath. He took an oath. Et hamamlecha, he made, right, caused, he feel, the kingdom take an oath. The etagoy, and the nation, kilo yimtsaeka, that it did not find you. Matzah is the root. Because the subject, or excuse me, because the object is plural, mamlecha and hagoy, we would have expected something like yimtsa uka, right, to make it 3MP, but the Masoretes gave us the singular, so we're just going to have to be happy with it, that it, either the nation or the kingdom, did not find ka. Now, don't let the hey trouble you here. It's just representing the ah vowel attached to the pronominal suffix cha. But what should bother you is the dagesh. There's a vowel before here. There should be no weak dagesh, and in fact, it's not. This is a strong dagesh. Great. Why is there a strong dagesh? Well, I gave you the answer a while ago. Anybody remember? Energic,
yeah.
So-called energic nun, which means something like he certainly did not find you. This is an oath they're taking, not to be taken lightly. So there's
like
this extra nun.
Mitza'ain ka, it would if it was there.
Yeah.
And you sometimes see.
Yeah, you were probably about to say it, but I was just going to echo that. Yes, there are some places in the Bible where the energetic noon is still visible and did not get assimilated. That's the primary reason we know exactly what it is. But yeah, that's what it is. Noon that when assimilated.
So
Okay.
in the Aaronic blessing,
Yes.
there's a ka.
Yep.
Is there a nergic noon in that one as
Yep.
well?
Yes, there is. Vichuneka. Vichuneka. Let's see. Vichuneka. In fact, it doesn't have one dagesh, it has two.
Who? It's kibbutz.
Vichuneka. All right, so why do we have a yod here? All right, let's make it easier. Why is there a vav on the front?
It's conjunctive.
Conjunction.
And
that's it. Just a conjunction.
Good, thank
and
you.
instead of v, it becomes v because of the yod. But what's the purpose of the yod?
It's he will bless.
He will.
Yeah,
It's a
he will.
yiktol 3 ms. Okay. Now, why is there a kibbutz under here?
not Pesach, but
No, nobody knows. All right, let's take off the. All right. What's the root? Maybe we'll start there. What's the root? Hanan. Very good.
Hanan, okay.
Think of Yochanan, right? Yochanan. The Lord is Hanan. Gracious. Gracious, possibly merciful, something like gracious. Yeah. And so the root here is chet nun nun. That answers another question I was going to ask. Why is there a dagesh in the nun?
Assimilation nun.
It's a geminate.
It's a geminate root. There are two nuns. So because it's a geminate, that's why there's the dagesh right there. Now let's go back to why is there a kibbutz?
Because you will be blessed.
All right,
You will.
Now I'm wondering something. Hang on a second. Okay, all right. Dare I ask what binyan this verb is?
Lechanen, Pierre.
Or more exactly?
Halal.
It's a geminate. So a PL verb with a geminate root turns into polel. Now you can answer it. Why is there a kibbutz here?
It's the olam.
It's the cholam or the o of the polel form preserved as an u, which is more original. The o comes later. So this is because of the, pulel, which becomes polel. That's it. All right. Now.
So is it a pua? No.
No, it's not. It can't be pual or a polal because that would be passive and then would not take an object. Okay. Now to the part we just discussed. Why is there a dagesh in the ka?
The energic noon.
There it is.
So there are three noons, actually.
There are three noons. Exactly. Two of the root and one of the energic noon, and they all got squashed into into two dagashim, two dagesh dots. So because there's an energic noon here, I would cast my vote for translating this not just as may the Lord be gracious to you, but may he certainly be gracious to you.
That's nice.
Because of noon, or what emphasis make?
Because of the energic noon. Because of the energic noon, yeah. Now,
and they would know that. They would know that when they hear the ka.
Right.
They would just know that. That's amazing.
Well, originally they would know it because it would be vichunenka.
Ninechaka.
Right. Right. And if you want to throw that other one in there, then it'd be vichunenencha. Woo! It's a lot of na. And by the way, I said this was a yiktol yod. Was that a bit of a fudge on my part? Is this a yiktol form?
Is it a Joseph?
Yeah. Yeah,
It is?
it's more properly a
Sure.
Joseph because of
it's pockepated and it's and it's let him.
Tell me how you know that it's apocryphated.
Well, the Cholam Vav is missing, for one thing, and
Okay, so Vav isn't historically part of the spelling of this word. The OU vowel is. So it's possible and especially in defective spelling to have a cholam or a kibbutz or I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between the O or U vowel that's part of the pattern of the word and a vav was added later versus a word that has an historical vav letter in the root. And so that vav is preserved visually in the text. Like when you see like bow, sure, there are at times you'll find in the Bible where there's only a cholam here, but oftentimes you'll find a vav there too. That's probably referring back to a time before the vav turned into a vowel. Remember, it was just a consonantal text. So this would have been something like buo. Or possibly, if you go back even further, it would be buwu. But because of the aleph, it says no thank you and turns it into an O. And then that buo becomes bo and then becomes bo. That has a historical vav in it. So yeah, this is Joseph, not just because we're trying to say, let the Lord be gracious to you, but also because other verbs in the Aaronic blessing are obviously Joseph because they have a missing yiktol, a missing mater letter, like yasem. Instead of yasim, it becomes yasem. And because that yod is missing, that's our clue that it's Joseph.
Okay.
And the context of the verse where the priests are blessing the people, blessing them that the Lord would reveal himself to them. Okay, I think everybody got a chance to read, right? Good. All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming and studying Hebrew. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Until then, lehitrot v'shalom.
להתראות, שלום.
Lehitrot, shalom.
תודה רבה. שלום. שלום.
Shalom.